How to start collecting watches? It is a tough question to answer since everyone is different. But I think I can give you some advice so you don't make the same mistakes I have made throughout my watch collecting journey. I find it quite amusing when people who collect perfumes, hats, or sneakers come to me and they say, "Oh, my hobby is so expensive." Honestly, I can't help but laugh silently, because collecting watches is one of the costliest hobbies out there. The advantage, however, is that you can spend as much or as little as you want. You could stick to affordable watches your entire life and you probably won't get bored, but we'll discuss that later. I believe it's one of the few hobbies where you decide how much you spend. I couldn't tell you how much money I have spent on watches because I would lie to you. The amount I've invested in those magnificent pieces on my wrist is insane. If I knew, I'd probably need to see a psychologist. But collecting watches is truly beautiful. They're more than just timekeepers. They are meaningful pieces that can remind loved ones of you when you're no longer around. If you're just starting to collect watches, here are some tips to help you truly enjoy the hobby. First, don't worry about spending a lot of money at the beginning. There are many high quality watches that don't cost a lot, ranging from $80 to $300 or $400. And you can build a great collection and start to see what you like and what suits you. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a watch in an Instagram ad or post and fell in love with it and made an effort to buy it and then realized 2 weeks later that it wasn't what I was looking for. It just didn't fit my lifestyle. That's why I encourage you not to spend too much money initially. Just like my dad used to say when I was in high school, now is the time to meet a lot of girls. Don't get too hung up on just one. Explore as much as you can. And I think that is sound advice that applies to many aspects of life. Try to experience as many watches as you can. Even if you can't buy them right away, go to jewelers and stores and try them on and see how they feel. It's a completely different experience seeing a watch in a picture compared to having it on your wrist. If you buy the watch and later you don't love how it fits your lifestyle, you can always look to trade it for something similar in price. But if you spend a lot right off the bat and end up disliking the watch, that leads to another problem. Another piece of advice I can give you is to sleep on it. This is something I experience quite often. I get excited about a watch, I want it immediately and buy it. But in the back of my mind I think, wow, that was a lot of money, and then I'm not as convinced once it's on my wrist. And there are many external factors that can prevent you from enjoying the watch as you should. This happened frequently to me at the start. I'd save money to buy the watch I wanted, but when my credit card would be nearly maxed out and I'd feel guilty about, paying for other bills. So while I was happy with my watch, I was not eating basically. Now, taking time to think about the decision can lead to a calmer choice that ultimately won't cause you regret. Also, don't get swayed by brands or sponsorships. I found this to be true for myself early on. The more you delve into the world of watches, the more you realize that the brands with the most advertising may not always be the best choices. And this insight came after years of collecting watches. If you're going to buy a watch, do your research, read reviews, but most importantly, go see it in person. In the case of vintage watches, that can be a bit trickier. However, for modern watches, you do have the chance to see them and try them on. It makes a huge difference. Now, visiting a jeweler can open your eyes, as you may have been fixated on one specific model. But once in the store, you might discover 15 other brands that weren't even on your radar. With the same budget, you can explore many more options and see which ones truly capture your interest. Wearing the watches is very, very helpful. And with this, you can start building a basic collection. And remember, you don't have to spend a lot to have a high quality collection of watches. But most importantly, this is about what you like. Don't buy watches to impress others or to have others recognize them. Buy the watches that you love, that fit your lifestyle, and that you will enjoy wearing. And little by little, you'll build a varied collection of different watches. The most significant part is that you will start to learn more about yourself. You'll figure out if you prefer chronographs, simpler designs, and what colors or types of straps you like. This way, you can refine your tastes and invest more confidently later on. Now, speaking of straps and bracelets, my recommendation is to buy lots of straps to try on your watches. I can't tell you how many times I've bought a watch that didn't quite work for me until I swapped out the strap and it completely transformed into my favorite watch. It could be that the strap was uncomfortable, that it didn't fit well on my wrist, or even the color or material is off. Many factors can change your perception. Even the strap can alter the watch's overall look. If it has an integrated strap or bracelet, it is likely to appear bulkier than if you use a leather strap or vice versa. If the watch has a smaller case and you want it to feel larger, you could switch to a bracelet and you can try out different combinations and colors. That will make your experience of wearing the watch much more enjoyable. Those are some basic tips I can give you to start collecting watches, or if you've already started, to keep building your collection. Enjoy it! Now, if you'd like to hear some advice, let me know in the comments because I could talk about this all day.